Hello, welcome back to this series of investment foundations. I'm Julian Vargas, CFA, and today we are going to talk about dispersion measurements. These are going to be really important when you are going to make any kind of investment. So let's go. Dispersion measurements describe how spread the data is or its variation around a central value. Let's start with an example of how we identify dispersion graphically, and then we will see how to quantify its dispersion. First, let's imagine that you are analyzing two stocks, two ETFs, or any other two financial products over time. We will assume that both have an expected return of 5%. The first one will look like this, and the other one will look like this. It is clear that the pink line has a bigger dispersion because it is wider than the blue one. But how exactly can we measure this dispersion or variation? Let's talk about our first measurement. It's called range. Here, we will simply identify the maximum and minimum values of each series. For the blue one, the minimum is this point over here, and the maximum this one. For the pink one, this point is going to be the minimum and this point is going to be the maximum along the whole series. By extending both lines, we can draw the entire range across the series. It is clear to see that the pink range is greater than the blue one. We quantify the range as the difference between the maximum and minimum values. The next measurement is called standard deviation. You might have noticed that the range does not consider where the mean is. You can also see this because it's not considered within the formula. On the other hand, standard deviation considers the distance of each observation from the mean. To avoid negative and positive values canceling each other out, we square the deviations. We sum all the deviations and divide the result by the number of observations to obtain an average deviation. This result is called variance. To calculate the standard deviation, we just need to take the square root of this variance. In Excel, we can use the following to calculate range, variance, and standard deviation. For this example, we will have the monthly returns of the ETF following the S&P 500 index. We know that the range is calculated by the difference of the maximum and the minimum. That's why we will use here the formulas max, and we get all the series minus the minimum of the same series. For the variance, we will use the formula VARP, and for standard deviation, ST-DEV-P. Don't get confused because my keyboard is in German. We will also verify here that the standard deviation is the square root of the variance. Let's recap here. If we have a returns series, we can describe the dispersion of the data using range, variance, or standard deviation. Range is the difference between the maximum value and the minimum value. Variance and standard deviation consider the distance of each observation from the mean, which is a deviation, and calculate the average of the square deviations. In the world of investments, dispersion measurements help us understand the level of risk in our investments. By quantifying the risk, we can make comparisons and create portfolios. We will do that in following lessons. And there you have it. Now you know how to measure risk for your investments, because nothing is guaranteed. Thanks for watching, and if you increase your financial literacy a little bit, just give it a like, give me some comment, what do you like, what do you didn't like, and see you in the next one.